Have you heard about PunCube? They are the company behind these well-deservedly famous Mech Wallets. It's essentially a grown-up's fidget toy. It holds a maximum of 6 cards, plus this variant has a special magnetic patch on its back they call the bifold module. Look how this intricate design matches my personality, sports, hobbies, and look, the 3D printer actually looks like an M1D. I got it as a gift from the company, which is just amazing. How did they know all these about me? They did not. The gift was a blank wallet, and I added the graphics in a snap using our Monport GPro 60W. Today I show you exactly how I did it. Yes, I'm gerGO, and you're watching gerGO Print 3D, the YouTube channel where I show you all the cool things we create with our lasers and 3D printers. Today it's this wallet, but in the next video we'll take a look at this practical DJI pocket camera case I printed using PETG and TPU in a single print on our pre-release Sovol M1D IDEX tool changer. Actually, there is a second glowing PETG and some PLA supports involved too. But that's the next video, so subscribe if you're interested. This video about the PunCube Mech Wallet has the usual curated translation-ready subtitles, chapter markers, and audio tracks in multiple languages, assuming Google's servers don't break down like last time. But even then, I managed to add the language tracks eventually. So yeah, PunCube asked me if I'd like a wallet like this for free, as a gift. I said, 2 please, and they were game for it. See, when marking with lasers, either you have a ton of experience and can guess the correct settings, or you use the scientific method I will show you today. But even then, a second attempt is usually the winner. Since I was planning to mark them, I chose this smooth horizon black variant. Not that those rigid versions didn't tempt me with their distinct steampunk feel, and I would not blame you if you went for the ripple sand finish. Follow our custom affiliate link gp3d.click/PunCube to pick the variant you like and support us at the same time. And using the code gerGoprint3D, your price will even be lower. So I went with the horizon black because I wanted the laser to add the personality to mine. Only when the box arrived, there was just one inside, along with this extra accessory we'll unbox later. I reached out and said, I got the first one. They replied, oh, the second one is also on its way, we sent it separately. They are so kind. Curiously, even this second one came with a set of screws and a very high quality mini screwdriver, but no accessory this time. Not that we would need it for the test. That metal gift box is a really nice touch though. So I got to work. The wallet is made of anodized aluminum. I had a general idea about the correct settings, but more of a range. To get those contrasty white marks, we basically have to remove the black dye from the surface. We definitely don't want to melt or burn the raw aluminum underneath. Just vaporize that top coating so the shiny white finish is uncovered below it. Actually, almost any laser is capable of marking anodized aluminum. It's just the speed, accuracy, and the incredible preview system that made our latest Monport MOPA my first choice this time. This is the 60W device, which is an absolute laser weapon. We'll need relatively low energy and relatively high speed to get this done, but with MOPA lasers there are a few other variables we can control: the frequency and the pulse width. If you think of a laser like a hammer, the power is how hard your arm swings that hammer. The frequency is how many times you swing the hammer in a given second, and the Q pulse or pulse width is the actual material of the hammer head. You can have very pointy hardened steel punches that violently shatter and blast away the top surface when you set a very short Q pulse value, or you can bring out a big fat rubber mallet that squishes the material as it stays in contact with it for longer Q pulses, spreading the heat deep into the metal. And of course, you are moving this hammer over the surface of the material. The faster you move it, the fewer times it will hit the exact same area. To scrape off the coating with high precision, we want a relatively low frequency of around 60 kHz. This machine can go as high as 4000 kHz. And a low to medium Q pulse length of 100 nanoseconds, which you can think of as a relatively sharp hammer. I was not entirely sure about the exact speed and power, but this is why we enter these values into the material test dialog box in Lightburn. I punched in a range between 1500 and 3000 millimeters per second for speed and 15 to 35% for power. Now, I wasn't going to ruin the front of the spare unit. The back has the same material, so keep watching and you will understand why I aimed the test grid in this exact specific area. I measured the Mech Wallet to be almost 9 millimeters thick, so I raised the laser head accordingly to focus using the built-in scale and the manual crank on top. Safety glass is on. Now, this laser has a peculiar thing about it. When I turn on the laser source using the key, the laser is not immediately ready to work. If you start the marking process too quickly, you will not get any marks in the first part of your job. You will hear the fans spin up, flooding the electronics with cooling before any heat is generated, while massive capacitors are furiously filling up with electricity, getting ready to deliver those 60-watt punches. Then the fan noise quiets down a bit as the seed laser stabilizes. Listen to the machine, wait for that drop in pitch, count to 3, and then you're ready. Now I hit start. Notice the beam doesn't make any visible marks under 30% power. And the crispest, strongest white marks are at 35% at the lower speeds. So we now have a good baseline ready to come up with the graphics. I won't bore you with the details, but it was a combination of this prompt for ChatGPT and this other one for Gemini to clean up the image and get it ready for Lightburn. Then in Lightburn, we simply trace it with the default settings and adjust the size. We could go ahead and start lasering right away, but I recommend one more step that proved to be absolutely invaluable. See, I selected one corner of the graphics at the intended magnification and did a test engraving on the back. Again, remember where I put this, aiming right next to that material test grid. Looking at the result, some of the finer details are lost. So I decided to decrease the speed, increase the resolution, and crucially, enable cross-hatching. As you can see in the second test that I managed to fit right next to the previous one, the detail is drastically improved. Now, being perfectly happy with the result, I flipped the wallet over, wiped the surface with isopropyl alcohol, aligned the preview hull with the wallet by pressing the arrow keys, holding Control for fine micro movements. And when I was happy with the placement, I started the laser. The first pass scans horizontally, building up the image line by line from bottom to top. You can see this pass is still kind of incomplete with some of the detail missing. The whole pass takes about 4 minutes, and you can see how beneficial that second pass is, adding the vertical lines which did not make it into the first pass. But here's a fun fact. The second pass actually takes almost a full minute longer. And you might ask, but why? It's engraving the exact same number of pixels at the same speed and the same resolution. Inside the Galvo head, there are 2 small motorized mirrors that direct the laser beam. The x-axis mirror gets hit first by the laser. Because the beam coming straight from the fiber source is just a tiny focused dot, this mirror can be very small, incredibly light, and highly agile. The y-axis mirror is the second in the row. Because the x-axis mirror is already swinging the beam back and forth, the y-axis mirror has to be physically larger and longer to catch that sweeping beam and bounce it down through the lens. And because the y-axis mirror is physically larger, it is also heavier. I think you're starting to get the picture. When it scanned from bottom to top, the laser was drawing horizontal lines. The tiny lightweight x-axis mirror is doing the frantic back and forth wiping at high speed. The heavier y-axis mirror is just doing the easy job, taking tiny microscopic steps upward after each line. Because the fast mirror is doing the heavy lifting, the pass finishes quickly. When you scan right to left for the crosshatch, the laser is drawing vertical lines. Now the roles are completely reversed. The tiny x-axis mirror is taking the microscopic steps, and the heavier y-axis mirror is forced to do the high-speed back and forth wiping. Because the y-axis mirror has more mass, it has more inertia. Every single time it reaches the end of a line, it takes a fraction of a millisecond longer to decelerate, stop, and reverse direction compared to the lighter X mirror. Multiply that tiny microsecond delay by thousands of lines in a high-resolution hatch, and the second pass takes noticeably longer to complete. And that is exactly why when we do a single pass, I like to orient the workpiece so the scanning happens along the x-axis. But of course, when we do crosshatch, like in this scenario, one of the passes needs to be slower. Or both would be slower if we rotated the whole thing by 45 degrees. Fun fact, that diagonal orientation is generally considered to provide the highest quality. But I'm not even sure if you can imagine higher quality than this. While we watch this beautiful image finish up, if you want to achieve results like this yourself, you can use our custom affiliate links, gp3d.click/monportusa or gp3d.click/monporteu, depending on where you live. When it comes to MOPA fiber lasers, look for their GA and GPro line. Check this out. It turned out incredibly crisp. It could be a perfect gift in this perfect box. But wait, doesn't it have the ugly test marks on its back? It does now, but not for long. Look, every Mech Wallet comes with this metal money clip, which coincidentally sticks on the back using an adhesive pad covering this exact area where we did those laser tests. Let's wipe the back side with isopropyl alcohol before adhering the clip for a perfect bond. You can keep this our little secret. If I knew this was possible, I probably wouldn't have even asked for two. But I did, and remember, that one came with an accessory. Let me show you what's in that little white box. It is the bifold module I showed you in the intro. But before attaching it to the back, I engraved this wallet too, with the same design. Now, the one with the test marks wouldn't have worked very well with this module because they would be perfectly visible when we lift the magnetic flap on the back. So to take advantage of this bifold pouch, we really did need two wallets for the test engraving. But what am I doing here? I'm adding my name and contact information to the back plate. So if my wallet is ever lost and found, they will find this info safely hidden under the cache and hopefully contact me. I will probably tell them they can just keep the cache if they send me my Mech Wallet and cards back. The last step is to use two of the included tiny screws to secure the bifold module onto the wallet. It opens and closes so smoothly and satisfyingly. And the pouch in the back can hold a few more irregularly shaped cards, bus tickets, and some extra cash. So what happens with the one with the money clip? I can gift it to someone. It will most probably be Levi if he wants it. We will engrave his name and contact info somewhere inside too. Look, it could go here or here. We'll see how he decides. If you like this design, I published this and might even add a few more. Find the link in the description below. I hope this little side quest in the big M1D release adventure was worth your time. We are getting back to the M1D in the next video with all that TPU and true multi-material magic print. My custom gp3d.click/m1d affiliate link shown on the back of my Magic Mate 84 keyboard will currently take you to this new Sovo Wonders Kickstarter page, but I plan to relink it directly to the purchase page later after the Kickstarter completes. If you are thinking about getting the M1D, please use this link to support us along the way. As you can see around me on the screen, just like in our previous video, I've put all our custom links up here. gp3d.click/magic for the keyboard, the PunCube wallet, and of course the Monport MOPA sitting right next to me. You can find them down in the description too. Are you curious how I printed this custom light bar on the Sovo M1D using PETG and PLA supports? Or about the Magic mechanical keyboard that is aimed specifically at us 3D printing enthusiasts with Hall effect switches and crazy gaming specs? If you are, be sure to click here. And if you need more reasons to get a MOPA laser from Monport, watch this recent video. Either way, go print 3D. Thank you for watching yet another gerGO Print 3D video all the way through. Please like and subscribe and stay creative.